This meeting is being
Might as well
recorded.
just get it going.
All
Yeah, I
right,
mean,
get it up.
so far so good down here. It's been windy, super rainy.
Uh-huh.
Um, same as probably what you guys got, huh?
Yeah, I mean the ocean was out of control.
I bet
On
the
my
waves are
way,
probably crushing.
they like smashed like the Capitola Wharf, and they smashed like the cement ship again.
Wow.
And this morning, I went by the ocean this morning, and like I saw Yusuf out there, and I was just like, I saw him, and he's always like doing like kook stuff, man. So it's like I see him, so I'm like, hey man, you made it through the cyclone, the bomb cyclone. And then right as I said that, as you come to right where you have Twin Lakes and the harbor beach right there, um, waves were crashing over 26, the slab and everything. So I had to do a U-turn, and I went and checked it out. A car got hit with a wave, dude, like a
No
Prius.
way.
Yeah, it didn't move it off the road, but it was just like there's a whole bunch of foam on it and stuff like
Huh.
that.
Was it parked there?
No, I
It was.
think they just panicked and they didn't hit the gas. You know what I mean? They
Oh,
just
I
waited for
see.
the
Yeah,
impact.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They just kind of froze, which
They
is, I would have been
didn't know
all.
what to do.
I did a U-turn because I'm like, I don't want to. Because I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't want to be that. You know, when the news gets there, like you let the wave hit you, and I'm like a hillbilly, like, oh man, I can't. I'll never be able to financially recover from this, man. Oh, like one of those guys.
Yeah,
So I just did a U-turn,
okay.
parked, and I just was hollering at Yusuf a little bit, like, "Oh, what are you doing here? You're always doing this kind of stuff." He's like, "Man, it's rad. I got." It was the waves were breaking like at least a mile at the mile buoy, which is humongous storm surge. But I mean, it took out probably the last remaining parts of like the cement ship. They just ripped apart. I mean, it was
Really?
moving boulders, dude. It was like throwing those big boulders over the and onto the road and big old logs. So I mean, that is nothing to mess around with. I mean, as far as if you got sucked out right there, see ya.
No, you're Dunzo.
Unless you're like really calm and you're just like Forrest Gump in it, like Lieutenant Dan, and you're like, "Oh, take me," and you just gets thrown back at the life.
Sure,
But
but
yeah, no, it's
you
pretty
pretty
heavy.
much need a wetsuit. You know, they
I
get cold
mean,
pretty fucking quick.
even if people get scared of the ocean, and I kind of like I know because you can get pretty scared of the ocean even on a flat day. Like if you panic, it's like I don't. There's something about like when you panic, there's no oxygen that gets to your brain or something because I don't know what happens, but
Yeah, no doubt. What about the boardwalk to get hit at all?
I don't know. I mean, it was like there was no beach. The waves were smashing everything. I mean, as far as the ocean was unsettled as like I've ever seen it, but as far as the rain totals, nothing major. I mean, it flooded like New Year's Eve night down here in the village, and I think like Capitol Village got flooded, of course. But people were like I was saying yesterday, people were all abuzz in the neighborhood. I mean, it was like people had concerned looks on their faces, like, "What are you gonna do?" And you're like, "Go to sleep." I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? I got renter's insurance, baby. We're covered.
Totally. I mean, they definitely drove the fear into this one.
Well, they rebranded it again. It's like a bomb cyclone. Excuse me, like, is that the new or just it's like
Totally.
Corona rebranded, played by
Right.
the flu. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just that choice, bomb, it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
even if you hint that like it, they created that, the
yeah.
naming of it's right there. It's like it's hidden in plain sight. Like we don't want to be like in 5 years being like, oh, we should have known. Bomb cyclone, they were telling us. You know what I mean? Like it's they're telling
Yeah,
us, you know.
it's just probably someone
I'm just
coined it, and
saying.
they're like, "Oh, they're it makes no sense." My whole life, you live on the ocean, and all of a sudden, it's just like, "Oh, we got something coming in, man," and everybody at the coffee shop just kind of goes, "Oh, this is the day, this is the day." It's just like any kind of like even if you're like a surfer and it's like about to swell, they're like, "Oh, 3 o'clock's going to be the time," and you go, "Whoa, that's wild that you guys know exactly when." Low tide and the swell is going to be perfect, and no one talks like it's going to be Big Wednesday, like it's like like Baywatch or something. Big Wednesday. It's like just go. Today's the day, and it's just like see you out there or something. It's like that kind of like casual, like if you experience it, you experience it. But this whole like push to like just put stuff on TV with like a new rebranded name is, I mean, it's getting pretty old. And then, like I was saying last night, you know, like people parrot it like out in their driveways, you know, and then they just go back into their house and with their same problems. Like
Totally,
nothing's.
yeah,
I mean, if their house got washed away, it wouldn't change them spiritually.
totally.
Maybe.
It's almost like code to keep like the non-player characters active, you know, like, okay, feed them with this, and then they'll
Yeah,
just go out and be like, bah, 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 you know, just parrot to
that's exactly what
everyone,
it
and
is. It's
just,
like,
you know, it's how they keep them in up to date and fucking the
you
ball
know, and
rolling.
then yeah, and then people from out of town, they call you, "Are you doing okay?" You're like, "Yeah, man, it's like doing fine, bud. Why? What's
Totally.
up?" Oh, you know, like I saw flooding. You're like, "Oh yeah," but you know, it's like that's like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Like I
always
saw
gets me
flooding,
like,
they're all
yeah,
where did you see it? Oh, it was like on Highway 101 or something. You're like, that's in
yeah,
San Jose, buddy. You know,
yeah,
not even in the same town.
yeah. I heard you got a lot of fog. You're like, yeah, man, nothing's changed, dude.
Yeah,
Like, you know, it's
yeah, yeah.
you know, and I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, you could just see the concern on like the people that live in this complex's like face, because you know it did flood, but it wasn't like the river flooding over the banks. It was like infrastructure flood because
Right.
of, like the drains got choked up with something and just like all started coming out like on one part of downtown SoCal, which was it was like super muddy and all, but you know it was. I mean, what can I do? I mean, I can't stop the water.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much what I was going to say up here is everything that flooded was just infrastructure failure,
Yeah,
you
infrastructure
know,
fair. That's
and
all.
it wasn't as bad the second time through. I don't know if it's rained as much yet, but
Yeah, infrastructure failure. You know, because that's the whole reasoning behind like Republican, Democrat, right? You know what the problem is if you vote, right? The
yeah,
government just wins.
yeah,
You know,
totally.
on both
That's,
ends.
yeah,
So
there's
yeah,
nothing you could do.
yeah. Guess what? It doesn't matter who you pick. The government wins. So it's like let's kind of like move to like the 90 IQ bracket of a conversation real quick. You know what I mean? Real
Right.
fast.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Let's just like move that forward. You know?
Big time.
Yeah. Rain's gonna win. Yeah, man. So what did I see? You posted some Boy Scout photos.
Did I screen share it?
It's not showing up,
Okay.
but
Oh shit, dude. Oh,
yeah,
no. Okay, hold on. A little slow around here, you know.
it's all good. There it is.
Sorry. Yeah, so that's like the
Now
barbecue.
it looks like they cooked hot dogs there.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely barbecue. It says that it was a Boy Scout camp. They use it a Boy Scout camp, which is like this latest thing. And these
Right.
obelisks, I believe these obelisks are supposed to be lampposts,
Right.
but it's kind of creepy, if, you know, what we know about obelisks. You know, they use them.
Yeah.
Who
And
likes
then
to
it
make
just
them?
yeah. But what's even creepier is like you go ahead and you like build this thing, and then all of a sudden you just let it just be the growth over. I mean, there's no point to it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And plus, that little hot dog grill looks like that was just kind of thrown on after the fact. That thing almost kind of looks more like ceremonial, where they maybe like lay you in it as like some kind of ritual.
Well,
You
yeah, I
know?
mean that could have been what they were originally doing.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right
because
next. Oh, go ahead.
because the top echelon Boy Scouts are tied in with like Masonic ritual, anyways.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Not for the plebes, but for the already like made Mason kids. So
right. It's like,
they have like a whole nother sect of it for the movers and shakers of society. Just kind of getting you really familiar with like ritual.
yeah, it's a kind of a, you could say grooming, or you could say like school, you know, school for it, you know.
I mean, imprinting for sure. I mean, there's like, it's just imprinting, and that's what it is. Like you imprint that, this is like this is this is how society works, and it's just
Mm,
like, and then like, and then you go off to college, and then you pledge
totally.
for like like uh for Pike or whatever business school you go to, and
Totally.
because I've met like quite a few Eagle Scouts in the world, and they're uh they're a different group of people. I don't know if you've ever come across Eagle Scouts, but
I
they're
can't think of the last time I talked to one.
yeah, yeah. You know who got all the way to Eagle Scout and refused refused it was Ben Scarbs, dude.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. When he's like, so yeah, I made it all the way to Eagle Scout, and I had to go through one ritual I didn't want to go through, and that was like kneeling, and he said kneeling in front of like something or other, and like uh taking God as his higher power. He's like, I'm not into it. So they're like, oh, you can't become an Eagle Scout. You sure? And he's all, yeah, dude, I skateboard too, so I think we're good. Yeah, but
It's
you could
funny.
totally
I
tell
think I
Scar
remember
like,
that about him.
yeah, you could totally tell Scarborough's like he's like the all-time guy though. I mean, like if you ask me, like he's like the all like who else will come get you at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Totally,
like
man.
seriously.
Yeah, I'll never
What
forget
exit?
that one. Never
Oh
forget
my
that.
god. Oh my god.
That was classic. Fucking, we were coming back from a tour,
Right?
like a weekend tour, like one of the
Yeah.
first ones probably, or at least like you had your van, and it was like,
Yeah, it was the Dodge.
yeah, and we finished it. I just remember sitting there with you, like, dude, we pulled it. We're done. We're
Yeah.
almost home. Fucking
Yeah.
killer. And all of a sudden, boosh.
No, that engine came apart, man.
Yeah. It was like, oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, stuck fucking. It was like 2 in the morning or something at that point.
280, and I think it was the highway that crosses over from 280 through the backside of Stanford right there. I don't know what 84,
Hmm.
84 I think.
Yeah, maybe near the
82, 84,
reservoir. I
something like
feel
that.
like,
Yeah, that was like, but fuck man. Yeah,
yeah,
that
dude,
that
no
Dodge
cell
van was
phones.
rad. I remember when I bought that van too off this guy right off 41st Avenue right there, right past Santa Cruz Surf Shop. And the guy was like, oh man, you're gonna love this van. Dude, we got everything out of that van, dude. That thing I don't ever did, and all I ever did was put, I think, gas in it, man. It was like, I don't even think there was oil in it, dude, to be honest. I
Probably
never
not, bro.
I mean, we went
That's
like
why it blew up.
fucking all over everywhere in that thing. Never, yeah. I mean, never even gave him a problem. That was like the only problem it ever gave us. Boom, it just blew up.
Yeah, died on us.
Oh my god. Well, that's how you want them to go, right? You don't want them
Sure,
to go
yeah.
like with
And
a
a blade. You don't
whimper.
want
You
them
want
to,
them to,
yeah, sit in your
dude.
driveway for
I
six
remember we
months.
couldn't see nothing. It was like just fucking bales of smoke. It was a
Good
couple
times.
rattles and then boom. Yeah. Fucking A, dude. 280. So yeah, these Boy Scout, like they just, what is it,
Oh
abandoned or is
yes.
it?
Well, yeah, it's well, it's a park. It's a regional park, but it ticks all the boxes. You know, So built early 1900s. It was a private park, and then it was
Uh-huh.
later donated to Richmond. Um, it's a site of one of the grandest Ohlone villages,
Okay.
numbering 250 people, which means there's probably huge
Right.
stone structures or star forts underneath there that
All right.
probably predate the Ohlone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then so there's a streetcar line that ran through there that was discontinued. So there's some kind of train station there. And so that
Right.
it says they made certain improvements in play area, turning parking into meadows, and it said demolition of dilapidated structures, which is pretty ambiguous, what was there. Like, what did they actually
Right.
tear down,
Yeah, with
And
no
then
photos.
on top of that, there's a sanitarium right up there too,
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
which
Yeah.
is in ruins that you can still get up to. I'm gonna go up here soon for sure
If it's
and check
a
this out.
if it's a horse with stripes, it's a zebra, right?
Yeah. And so it says the park also features distinctive stone masonry, retaining walls, stone
Mm-hmm.
lampposts. And then there used to be a open air pavilion dance hall that burned down.
I mean,
It
that's
checks a lot of boxes in the madness of our his story, which is
open
great.
air pavilion.
Right, dance hall, and then turned into a roller rink, open air roller
Okay.
rink. So yeah, there's no
Uh-huh.
pictures or anything that I've been able to find yet. Still
Right.
working on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy what that it kind of goes back to the golf course convo,
Right.
just with what they're covering shit.
Right.
Even on this level of like this is all built on one of the biggest Ohlone villages. So even
Yeah.
at face value, you have to,
Well,
take into consideration.
I like how the adjective is the one of the grandest.
Right.
So, I mean, that's got to be like ornate buildings, right?
Right. I mean, they kind of throw in that little clue.
It must have been if it like hit the, like if it hit the bell of grandest. I don't know what's better than grandest.
Yeah. I mean,
Spectacular.
yeah, magnificent.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like if you saw like your friend pull like a real killer trick skateboarding or something, you'd be like, "Oh, dude, it was the grandest trick ever." You never said.
Totally. That was a grand trick, mate.
Yeah, dude, you'd be like, "Oh, dude, grind, mate, grind."
Oh, grand move, mate. Top move.
This guy, his skating abilities, let me say, they were grand. I mean, maybe only like in the like softest moments of talking about. I mean, in the softest moments of being like, "Oh, how was she?" She'll go, "Oh, it was grand, dude." I mean, maybe. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and like your bro would be like, "Oh yeah, you grand, okay," but never anything else, right? It was grand.
Right.
I gotta tell you, it was a special moment. Wedding. It was probably like super important to the Alones, for sure, right? Does it
Right. I
have more
mean,
pictures of it?
yeah, this is just like pictures of the ruins and whatnot.
So, and this is up
Which,
at like in the Oakland Hills,
yeah, but it's in Richmond, but it's like the same hillway.
like Grizzly Peak area.
Yeah, I can find it if you want to do some map questing.
Get in the helicopter. Let's go. What's that triangle thing right there? That's crazy.
Oh, this was so University USF.
Oh, it's they put it in a triangle.
Well, I was looking at it and I just noticed these three
Oh, baseball field.
yeah, and so I connected them
Oh,
and
that's
it's
a
like
yeah.
I connected them to the pitcher's mounds too.
Oh, okay.
It's like a fucking perfect
It's pretty much
right.
perfect.
Yeah, pretty trippy. I don't really know why or what,
Well, that's wild, man.
but Lone Mountain here is where all the cemeteries used to be, where they moved them
Uh,
out.
yeah.
Like all, so this is we're looking north. So I think a lot of them were. It was like all this area, all in
Right.
here, I believe somehow. And
Yeah. I
this columbarium and funeral home
uh-huh.
is, I think, Sutro's buried here.
Okay.
And there's something. This might be one of the only ones that didn't move or something.
All right.
I want to
Yeah.
say maybe Stanford might be in here,
Oh, really?
either Sutro or Stanford, someone like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I was hearing that turning your property into a cemetery um, gives you uh, immunity from a lot of things. One of which is like you don't pay taxes, and on any money, by the way, that
Hmm.
the cemetery. So if the plot, so if like like the land is plotted for cemetery, like all those places right there, like obviously that place doesn't pay taxes whatsoever, right?
Right.
And
Well, dude, Turk Boulevard. How about
right,
that?
right. All those names are wild.
Yeah, Anza. I think Euclid is up here somewhere. Maybe it's up towards the top. Yeah, it's a pretty trippy one.
Mm-hmm. That city's laid out so fucking. So where do you think the original where did the original city spring up? Do you think?
Like as far as
It's just
um
like, you
his
know,
story or what do
like it's like when you look at it,
like when
you
they
have all, yeah, you
okay,
have
well
all
like
this, like, one more time.
I can no go ahead.
Yeah, you have like this total incorporated city here, and then just on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, it's like there's nada over there, nothing.
Right.
It
Well,
just,
supposedly they like Mission Bay is right here. And
uh-huh.
I think this was like one of the main bays of where
Okay.
they used. And I actually found a map that was pretty cool. This one right here.
Yeah.
This has this is all the old waterways.
Uh-huh.
And so um
Oh, so you could probably canoe into the middle of any of this stuff, right?
yeah, so like this was Mission Bay.
Okay.
So all this gray
It's all fill.
is landfill that they've
Right.
done. So so the baseball fields here. This is
Uh-huh.
McCovey Cove.
Oh, I
Hold
got you.
on, I got let me fucking. Ugh. And then, so you come in here. This is all that's left that you could see,
Oh, so there was,
um, and it comes back like there's this whole like marsh area. There's a lake supposedly Laguna Dolores
right.
that runs through like Mission, and then
Okay.
we have a spring up here. But to go
Right.
back,
Yeah, I was just noticing that.
yeah, and I tried to look. It's right by like looks like it's like across from Dolores Park, but um, let me get back. We can try. I could try and show you on the map, on the real map. I've never seen these little shipping line. These
Traffic.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, this is like Mission Bay. This is all built on the water.
Right.
Like the bay came back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can find. Let me see if I can overdo it. I'm not the greatest at doing this stuff,
Or like overlay it.
but I can do this.
So it's all just, I mean,
All right, so I'll find that other one again. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, so
I see what you're saying.
yeah, like all this is old. I mean, it's filled
Yeah.
in.
Well, when you're down there, it is kind of like, it is kind of like a sloppy layout down there for, I mean,
Oh,
I've always
totally.
thought it was.
All stuck together. It even says right, Mission Bay. So, this whole thing was a bay,
Mm-hmm.
and like early pictures, just show some houses on the hills, and then
Right.
10 years later, like so Mission Bay. This is basically downtown right here,
Right.
and so as far as I can tell, like in the early days, like from the baseball field here, like all the way, all of this was, I think, was probably already built out, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
don't have any proof for that, but so like right next to Mission Bay, which is like the big bay and ports, everything
Yeah.
became built up. built
Well,
up from
I
there.
know, like, I know over toward up there and with the piers and stuff like that, all that stuff. I mean, I guess they just crammed like boats in there where the Ghirardelli building is. Apparently, that was
Yep.
underneath that. There's still a whole. There's like everything underneath it. Like, and Hearst like bought a whole bunch of land over there and just filled it up. You know, it's
Definitely
wild.
there's I guess they had so many boats in the bay that were just abandoned from people coming here and just being like, I'm out of
Yeah,
here, whatever, gonna go mine gold,
yeah,
that they used all those boats or many of those boats as the fill.
right,
And there's I could probably find it if I look. There's I mean you could find, if you search it, you can find that they found boats when they've rebuilt a lot of these buildings or when they've tore
right,
ones down and then they were redoing the stories below foundations because
right.
all of these go way below the ground, all of it. Like, I mean, there's parking garages that go 7 8 fucking floors down, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even like over here in Union Square, there's a parking lot that's underneath all this.
Right.
The parking lot is beneath this.
Oh, that. Yeah,
Same
yeah. I've
at,
been there. Yeah.
yeah. And then at Civic Center too, um, which was destroyed in the quake and rebuilt, or City Hall, I should say. Okay.
Yeah, but there's City Hall. Let's be honest. Like that city hall right there is bigger than the capital of the United States.
I
It's
think
like
it's in
42.
Sacramento. Is it
No,
DC too?
this is 42 feet higher than the capital of the United States.
42.
Yeah, that's significant, dude.
Oh, look, here's a parking lot. Wait,
Uh huh.
where's the parking lot? Well, it's
Yeah.
underground. There's a huge parking lot underneath here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least 2 or 3 stories, at least. You don't even get phone service down there.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, man. I don't
Wow.
even remember how we ended up over here.
Just
Oh,
because of
oh, we were
like,
looking
just
at the water and shit.
yeah. Well, because because it is on my mind. Like that video that you sent me over, that analog and that one other feller did, that
Uh,
British
uh,
dude.
Paul Cook.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
like
really good. That was a really good fucking
well, dude,
episode on.
I mean, hats off to analog. I mean, shout out, I guess is what you're supposed to say, but I mean, I'm as far because I know that you wanted me to talk about the Monterey Canyon and the Grand Canyon, and but he's like right on with it where he's saying that a lot of, and also old Florida, Dr. Longo, shout out.
Shout out.
Um, yeah, so was saying that all of Florida was like backfilled, all of it,
Right. Yeah, it was
and it was
totally
just,
terraformed.
yes, that's the word. And so
Right.
like the idea that I'm running around with like California being an island, the mining and all that crazy stuff, and like terraformed, it's absolutely possible in my mind that like the Colorado River came out in the Monterey Bay and made the canyon, and then something happened, whatever it is, volcanoes, terraformed, human, whatever. The Inland Empire Valley was like basically created. Um, I
Right.
mean,
From when they diverted the Colorado away from California, essentially.
well, probably because of all the mining that they did,
Right.
um, and
Totally.
then terraforming that whole land and aqueducts and all that crazy shit. The tunnels, you
Yeah. I mean,
know.
there's no doubt, like through the hydraulic mining, that they've totally manipulated the realm, like in
Absolutely.
ways that we don't even comprehend. Um,
Well, because if they're gonna say, if those guys are gonna say Florida is all been terraformed, like, and I think Analog was saying the exact same thing happened with California. Then I think it's like time to get pretty serious about like putting like an argument together for it. You know what I mean? And being serious about the research. Because as
Definitely.
far as I'm yeah, as far as I'm concerned, is like, I mean, I don't think, if there's ever like a meter get to 100% sure, it's I almost think the only way to like actually create like an answer for this mystery is that like we start from 100%. Like the map showed it. I mean, they say that like 2 billion years ago, I guess, is the mainstream of Monterey Bay Canyon being part of the
Mhm.
Grand Canyon. Well, we're 100% then. Now it's all about like what happened in between the 100% and try to disprove it,
Right. Totally. And yeah, those guys they're fucking
They
absolutely
got a lot.
killing
They
it.
either have a lot
Killing
of
it
time
right
on their
now.
hands. Yeah, they got
And
a lot of
yeah,
time on their
totally.
hands.
No,
Yeah,
I mean they're like the perfect ones to do it, like
yeah,
they can say it way better than me, that's for sure. And
right.
like I'm just enjoying like watching all their content and videos
Oh, I
because
love,
it's
dude.
been so inspiring. Like, so I've kind of been on a weird trip of lately, not a weird trip. I've just kind of been into like archival footage and stuff off of
Yeah, yeah.
a little thing, and it's just been awesome watching their stuff and inspiring me to do this too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
More and more.
Well,
But
I
definitely
mean,
stepping
because
up our game, stepping up the
I
game
mean,
too is the name of it. Also, it definitely is. It's like okay, let's put the gloves on and fucking.
I just think they have a fundamentally different way of doing it. They have a lot of time and research into like that, but I think that like that most of the work that I'm interested in has kind of been proven like in modern day when people say where do you come up with this idea, and I go, well, dude, I always revert back to like, do you know how special the aqueduct is and when it was built and how it was built? Do you understand how special that is? About as close to like the most miracle thing that ever happened. And it did. And the guy that like headed the whole fucking thing, Mulholland, I don't even think he
Yeah,
graduated the 7th grade, dude.
right.
He
Yeah,
had
and
he had no
you're
degrees, dude.
totally.
Like, you know what I mean?
I think he definitely had found a lot of those old ancient aqueducts and
Yeah,
rebuilt them or just reused a lot of it.
dude, he was screwed in such a way and had just the personality. He's like the modern day. I don't even know what the modern day. I mean, he pretty much like that's like one guy can build Rome, man. You know?
Right. And we get a lot of guys like him throughout all a lot of guys like him who
Right.
have built like an astronomical amount of things, like the golf course fucker.
Right. Yeah.
Another guy did the Golden Gate Bridge, has an
Right.
extensive list.